Record on this computer. All right, guys. So welcome. I do this little intro at the beginning, so I just want to thank everybody that's here. I'm super excited. We have 72 participants so far. I think this is going to fill up. This is something that I want to do all the time. With Joel Noel gave me this idea. Guys, this is just going to be a starting point. I wish somebody. I was talking to an agent yesterday or the day before yesterday, and I always say, I mean, I wish and again, not a plug to lifestyle, but I wish when I started real estate, I had this kind of like teachings or engagements or people that really cared. So it's a testament, and I'm always honored to see this many individuals who want to come in here and do change. And again, I'm only going to light a spark, and hopefully that spark is good enough for you guys to follow what I suggest you should do and which books to read and in what order and how to finish. And but it's only a spark. You have to follow through with it. It's just like anything else. It's just like fitness. It's just like your family. It's just about like work. It's up to you. And I hope and I hate. I honestly hate. I'm not gonna say hate. I really dislike when people wait to the New Year's for change. Right? We'll write all of this. This is not something that we're gonna write down and put it in a drawer and never see it again. And then when we go to the end of next year, 2022 is coming. We look and we're like, oh my God, out of all these things, I only did one or two because we wrote it down, but we never looked at it again. We're going to cover how that's not going to happen. On the way, I don't like this year challenge for New Year, new goals that by day 4, you already broke them. We got to do this as like a 90-day challenge. Every 90 days, we're like, 30 days is a great, we're going to have a 30-day mark and a 90-day mark. But it's a 90-day check, 90 days, 90 days, 90 days, 90 days. So we're not just going to write things here and never look at it. I'm going to tell you the things I've used, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to share some things that worked for you. And as I say, and I'll start now, this is just a spark. You got to follow through with it. Hopefully with the goal settings that we do today, it's not going to be like, you know, Tali might say, I want 5,000 people on my downline at Monac, and I want to have 100 houses sold, but that's it. Yaritza says, hey, I want to earn $100,000 this year. And you're like, okay, that's it. But that's it. She'll say, I want to make 100,000, but you don't put any pains association. If you don't hit the 100,000, you don't have any checks. If you say, I want to make $100,000 this year, that you're not checking by February or March, you have only 2 deals. You're like, oh my God, I'm behind X amount of deals. So I have to put more deals. This is just going to be a 2-hour thing I'm going to, at the end of the class, I'm going to share something that was the biggest thing. It's a 30-day challenge program with audiobooks and stuff like that. But it's up to you. So let's dive in. Thank you for everybody. The beginning part, just wanted people to know what we're doing today and why we're doing it. So let's start off. It's just, I just want to share kind of like a little bit of my backstory. So that way, when I tell you how I do my goal settings and I'm some of you guys, I'm going to pick a lot of people that I know to talk about their goals, but why I think I've been able to, help a lot of agents or a lot of people in business or in life is because I went through it. And I'm going to dig in deep on like why I do certain goals with you guys live. Some of you guys may have heard the story, but there's a lot of pain and association that I had to do to change my life. So quickly about myself, so you can see why my goals, and you're going to see, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to have different reasons why you want to do goals. But, the first thing, I really didn't start working until I was 30, really hard. I was lucky and blessed, like from 22 to like 25 to be a finance manager to make, $8,000 to $15,000 a month. And then it died down. Then I started a marketing company that had like 16 employees. And then that died down. And then I got to real estate. And like a lot of you guys, the first year I didn't make money because I didn't have people really telling me what to do. So through those struggles, right, I was able to like produce out of myself. I had to cut a lot of things in my life. And I'm going to be very intimate about the things that I had to cut out, because if we're not true to ourselves or don't air this out, you might be that testimony or change for somebody else. I want this to dig. I've had people sitting down. Actually, recently, I'm not gonna say. I'll call people out. Julie was like, I was with Julie, Jeanette, and who else was in here? And I was like, oh my God, if I continue going, Julie's gonna probably like break down here, which I love, right? Because if you're not open and you're not vulnerable, you're never gonna do that change. And we're gonna dig big. Like I'm gonna put like Yadi may say, I want to make 100 grand, but it might be for a selfish reason. I'm sorry, Yadi, to put you out there like that, but it might be for selfish reason. Oh, because I want to get a nicer car. But if she's not really digging in deep, and Jeanette and I talked about, and us, it was Jeanette, myself, Julie, and Juan Gregorio, Ron Gregory. if you don't really put the breakdown of why the 100,000, what happens if you don't do it in 3 years or 5 years, who's affected, there's a breakdown. So let's dig in deep. All right, let's start calling some people out. Yadi, what is your 2021 financial goal of the year? And we'll dig into it, and then I'll throw in there and I'll tell you how we're gonna break this down. What's your goal for the 2021? Unmute yourself.
I did. So my goal is to double up my sales. This year I didn't do bad, but I could do a lot better. I want to improve my follow-up. I'm slacking on my follow-up. I've lost a couple clients for not following up. So that's my main goal, double up my sales and improve my follow-up, read more, and reach my, I want to make 150 this year.
150K. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So that's a big thing, right? Anybody will say, okay, let's get a couple more goals, right? Tally, what's your goal this year?
I'm looking to increase my monthly salary to somewhere between $25,000 to $40,000 a month.
Okay.
Let's talk just real estate because I have several businesses, but since I'm new to real estate, I'm looking to grow my clientele. I'm looking to increase my attraction marketing within this field, and hopefully within real estate alone, maybe make a good 100,000.
Okay. So, all right, let's get one more. No, I don't want to put Jen because Jen already does all this goal setting. You know, I want to pick people that are really, Jeanette, what's your goal this year for real estate? No, that's it. That there's 90 people. I think we're 91. We're going to cap out. I'm going to have an issue. Oh, what happened there?
Hey guys. So I want to focus on sales. I mean, I'm good at rentals, but I'm trying to like direct myself into sales.
Hold on, all right. Go ahead. Continue going.
I want to learn more about sales. Just pretty much just make at least like around like 80,000 a month.
Okay, so that's good. We got 3 bases, and I like the people I pick on. So guys, if you're not part of lifestyle and you're in other walks of life, don't think George is mean. This year, actually, I'm going to be a little bit more, not mean, but with more conviction, right? I'm glad those 3 individuals said their goals, right? And I just want to, like, things that unlock with me, and Anthony Robbins, I always say Tony Robbins, changed that a lot in my life. And you gotta aim high. You can't say 80 because usually you're not gonna hit that 80. You'll probably you'll get close enough to 80 and you'll be a 40, 50, like, oh, I was close enough. You gotta aim a high number. And Tyler, you did a great number of saying how high, right? Like, I want to make, an extra $20,000 a month. That's what I like to hear, right? Because in real estate, at least you could have a month they make 50,000, and then you got to factor in your monthly amount. And Yadi, it's like there's no reason, if there's people around us, right, that are making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year real estate commission, there's no reason why you can't be like them. And one of the things is that's great to have, and like Jeanette, you have to have a reason why you want to make it. Like, so let's go back to the 3 individuals. So we're gonna break Yadi. What was the number you wanted to hit, Yadi?
150,000.
What would $150,000 do to your life right now?
Put me on the map.
What would it do? Right now I give you $150,000 and I guarantee you $150,000.
I would invest. I would buy my first investment property, which is a goal of mine. I want to get into stocks. So that's another route that I want to look at. That's what it would do. It would create financial stability.
That's not going to be enough. 150,000 isn't enough. So how would you, with that 100? And again, Yadi is our director of operations. So I could be an extra conviction on Yadi. So it's not picking up, but this is why you got to break these things out. How would the $150,000 give you financial stability? How much money of that would you invest in? What would you do with the 150,000? That's it. I guarantee you 150,000 in 2022 and 2021. Sorry.
Well, the 150,000 will go towards the property that I want to buy, and obviously maybe talk to you about auctions. But I definitely I want to start there. That's my starting point. If I can make more, then hey, of course. But I want to make it to at least 150.
I'll tell you the things, right? Okay, so that's good. But let me, if any of you guys have that type of goal, which is the amount, first off, you got to taste it. For example, if Joel, you want to get a Lambo or you want to make 150,000, you're not really going to wake up. If you don't know how to get there, if you don't go and say, George, look, I don't got the money right now, or you go with Miguel or anybody and say, I want to learn exactly how much am I going to need for a hard money loan? I want to get the, either you're going to buy and hold, right? Like, for example, Jenna Brew is selling one of my investment properties that she helped me get a tenant and she deal with all the headaches. But I bought the property for 100 grand. I bought it cash. I put like 20,000 in rehab. Miguel's rehab costs, you know, always go over the roof, right, Jen? And now I'm selling it for 195. So now I know what, but I knew what I had to do. You got to taste it and smell it. So you can't go and say, oh, I want to buy a property. How are you going to buy a property with 150,000 in this, unless you go buy it in like wherever? You need to know, talk to a hard money lender and taste it and know, okay, he's going to tell you, hey, I'm going to give you a loan to value of 70% until you don't taste it. If you wanted a Lambo and you know you can't afford it right now, you go to the Lamborghini dealership and motivate yourself when you see it. If you can't touch it, it's going to be harder for you to go get that goal. But now this is the other side of that thing. Yeah. Yeah. Let's just say you don't like your goal is, if that's one of your goals, it's not going to push you, right? Yeah. You have a car, right?
Yes.
All right. So the 150,000 just to buy an investment is not going to give you enough stability, but you have to also put a payment. What happens if you don't hit it in 2021? What would be, is there anybody that gets affected by your goal? Like if you don't make the 150, aside from you being sad about it?
I don't think anyone will be affected but myself, because I would be disappointed that I could do it and I didn't. I would just make sure to work harder. I mean, that's the goal, to work harder. I have a few realtors that I look up to and they're doing it, so there's no excuse as to why I can't.
I put this breakdown, and Tati, you hit the number on the head, and I'm not going to pick on you that much more, Yadi, but for you to make that $150,000 a month, you know how simple it is for, as realtor. Again, some of you guys are in different walks of life, but at least I'm going to talk about it on the real estate side of things. That's $12,500 a month that you got to make. The average commission, let's just say it's $7,500, depending on your price point. Unless you're Jenna Brew and has all those rich friends, and her average commission is like 15K. But that's 12. You just got to sell. Honestly, you get your 150 divided by 12, right? Then let's just say you're 150. Let's just say your average commission is $7,500. You get the 150 and you divide it by the 7,500, and you got to just sell 20 houses. And then let's break the 12 down to 12 months. You just got to sell 1.6 houses a month and you hit your goal. But now what you guys got to do is January, you have to have that. You got to look at that every single day. February, every day you got to look at that. Wednesday, if you get to March and you've only sold one house, in your mind, like, oh my God, I'm 3 houses behind. You got to really go crazy and really know how you got to do it. Yadi, there's months that you've done 20,000, 20, 30,000. How could you cut yourself short and say 150,000? Your number should be higher, because even if you miss, you'll be in, like they say, aim for the stars, because even if you miss, aim for the stars, because even if you miss, you're still in space. Like, you're still blowing the numbers out of water. So aim higher. You cut yourself short. You know, we all have eyes and ears and health, and we're in a business that we can make hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands. But you need to break down how you're gonna get there, right? We're gonna do a whole financial plan before we leave here. You're gonna find out how you're gonna get there. You're gonna break it down per month, and now you're gonna have pain. Tally, do you have kids? How many kids do you have?
I have a 21-year-old daughter and a 15-year-old daughter.
All right, so yeah, you have, you know, let's put it for the parents here. Your goal of having, if you don't hit that goal of $20,000 a month, let's just say that you want, let's just say you do hit it, what would happen? What would be the difference for you to make $250,000, 240,000? What would it do different for you in your life? I assure you, you're the $240,000.
Are you asking me still?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
So I'm a fan of dreaming bigger. So I'm not even worried. I have everything I need financially. It's more about what I would do with the money and who I would help. So I have two separate things. I value freedom a lot. So what would abundance of money afford me is freedom. I already made a lot of money in nursing. You make good money. So I have financial stability, but I want freedom. There's a huge difference for me in that. And then what I want to do with the money, because I really feel strongly about charity. I feel strongly about changing the community and the world that we live in. So, and I believe that those kind of actions, they multiply and they spread. So what I want to do is I want to feel free. I always said I like to travel. And then I realized one day that I have all this money to travel, but I don't have time to go anywhere because I'm working 12 hours a day, 5 days a week in the hospital, and Baptist needs me at 1 o'clock in the morning, they call me. So I never traveled. So I want to be able to be like, oh, okay, I like to travel, I travel. So freedom is a huge deal for me. And then I want to be able to feel good about using all my money and traveling because I helped rescue someone that was trapped in an abusive relationship, or I helped feed some kids that didn't have anything to eat. Or so like, for me, it's like a weird combination of living in abundance, but spreading the abundance. No. So what would it change for me? It's not just so much what it would change for me, because I live pretty good, but it's what it would change for others.
I love it. And you know what, like, I think of it like that as well. Hitting your financial benchmarks, when we do our one-on-ones, this is just a jumping point, right? Because after this, you know, I want you guys to be able to like come to me and say, hey, I want to do a real complete financial plan. We'll do it, we'll touch on it, but I want, everybody has their certain whys, right? And I'll give you a great example. When I shifted my mindset from like, you know, when I hit the financial goals that I wanted to attain, and I've seen a lot of people hit the financial goals that they want to attain, and our top producer, American producer, I see this a lot. I see this a lot with the partners that have open offices with me, where they're hitting the numbers financially. Jennifer Abreu, when I met her, she had a Honda, and now she has two or three properties in the Keys, a house in Clearston, buy a house in Georgia. I've seen her go from zero to a hero. But once you hit those certain mile markers on finance, you need to think of other things. And I think of it now. I'll give you an example. When I stopped doing that, thinking that, and I want you guys to be in the same boat. Look, this month alone, by the hard work of all you guys, we raised $7,000 with Jennifer Abreu's homestead charity team. We raised $5,500 for the Joe DiMaggio's children. No, $6,500 for the Joe DiMaggio's Children Foundation. I donated a few more to other places. Let's just say almost $20,000 that we donated this month to like charities. And I can tell you that some of that was when I was 18, 19, when I got out to America, that was what I was making a year in this job. To be able to say just on charitable contributions we made through our corporation, and like being all of us together to do it, it's crazy. It's unbelievable. And if we put the whole year, it's probably close to like, who knows how much, right? I don't want to just throw a number out there, probably $30, $40, $50,000 we gave out to charitable causes. When you start thinking about others, and I'm glad, Tyler, you're there, you start working harder. For example, I talked to, I'm going to pick somebody that, you know, like I was talking to Julie and I was talking to Jeanette. I was like, we're going to talk on other goals, but the finances are not the driving force, because Jeanette, what car do you drive? Wait, well, I'm mute. What?
Alexis.
Oh, Alexis. Okay. So you're at your house right now?
Yes, I am.
Is that you got water in the back in your view, right?
Maybe.
There's ocean. Okay. It's Saturday morning. Jeanette, Friday, she's staying at her happy hour, right, with her friends and family. And they say, you want to have dinner? You want to have an extra 2 or 3 drinks? She said, for sure. Because in there, I got my car, I got my house, and Jeanette will go. And again, I'm not saying that's what she does on Fridays, but this is what I used to do. I was like, you know what? I had a good week. I'll go out. And then what happens? I'm 38 years old. All my older agents or older people my recovery time, probably like 3 days. I'll be an old man at 3 days recovery. I'm not prospecting on Saturday morning. I'm not working hard on Saturday morning. I'm not getting up early on Saturday morning. And what did I do? Because most of us have a car and we could go from point A to point B. We have a house. We're never going to die of starvation. Your why is not strong enough, right? And especially for you guys that are not making the money you need to do, and you're not sacrificing going out. Like my biggest year of growth was I didn't drink for a year. I didn't go out aside from a birthday or 2 for the whole year. And that was my biggest goal. I read 30 books 1 year, but Jeanette would go out because her why, her reasons to like be successful is only on herself, for example, right?
No, I
Like,
told you I want kids in the future, so how is savings? Okay, I got a lot of money saved up for future kids.
all right, no, okay. I'm only picking you on a little bit, but and I commend you. You come here on a one-on-one, you're working your butt off, and I'm gonna put on your story. But I wish at 23 I was working as hard as you were. Or no. You're not working as hard as you can.
No, Pablo, yes I am. I am.
No. Listen.
Yes, I am.
We talked about this, and I'm gonna say it out in public. If you guys are she's doing 7 to 15 showings a month. Lou, how long does one showing take? No, 7 to 15 showings a week. Sorry. Lou, how long does a showing take you?
Sorry?
Put it colder. How long does a showing take you, Lou? One showing.
One showing?
An hour, maybe?
To be honest, you know, what I do is when I am pre-qualifying any of my, first of all, let me start by saying that I only work with the most motivated buyers and sellers, right? Because time is money, number one. But once I have a pre-qualified client and we're doing a showing, I give them the rundown of, you know, the property, all the details. I send them a virtual tour. That way, when we physically get there, I'm literally showing the house for 10, 15 minutes. I don't even.
All in all, like an hour, though. Like all in all, more or less an hour, 30 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on traffic, is it showing up. But
Yeah, of course, yeah, traffic. And if I'm gonna be showing a house and it's gonna be over an hour where I'm physically there, it's because I'm doing a walkthrough with an inspector.
So let's say this. So Jeanette does 10 showings, 10, 15. Each showing takes an hour. Like, let's just say she's putting 10 to 15 hours of work, and that's it. Aside from her being on watching Netflix and preparing an offer or whatnot.
I don't watch Netflix.
Hours. That what?
I don't watch Netflix. I don't watch any shows, by the way.
I'll be completely honest. If Jeanette is a mega agent to where she's doing 10, 15, 20 showings a week, I think she's working very hard. I think at that point, when you got that, you recruit talent and has your lead gen in, you delegate your production.
I feel you, but no, she's not. Hold on, let me get to the point on this one. But Jeanette has a way of lead generation, and that could keep her extremely busy. You know what? And you know what? Let me bring somebody to add to that point. Marvin, unmute yourself.
Yo, what's going on, my brother? How are you?
Marvin, if you lead generated, right, and Mo has like a few kids around there in Miami, but anyways, but Mo does
eight to be correct.
But Mo, if right now, and Mo has had months of 40, 50, 60, 70, I don't want to say 80 because I don't think so. Pablo has a $70,000 a month that's happening, but he was saying to everybody it was $100,000 a month, and I don't like to misspeak. So he went from his $100,000 a month to a 70 or 80. So I don't let him do that. But Mo, if with the lead generation, if you really, 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 really wanted to, how many showings could you do a week? Or how many showings do you average when you're like lead generating every single day? How many
before these 2 month break that I had right now, I usually do around no less than 8 showings a day.
Now 8 showings a day, right? I've seen it firsthand. I've seen him have incredible months. So when I look like a person like Jeanette and I tell her, hey, you could be doing more, because look, she does it and she's good at it, but then she won't do it Wednesday, Thursday, but she'll do it Saturday. So she misses a couple of days. You know why, Jeanette, you're not doing that?
Why?
Because your reason or why is it matter? Because you're having success, but you are so close to being, like I wrote down, you're doing good, so close to great, and so even closer, 20-30% more effort is going to get you to exceptional.
I'm gonna try to okay. I'm gonna push it. Trust me. I'm back.
Hey, George, I'm gonna give everybody my new secret.
Go ahead.
So pretty much what I'm doing now, it's called it's a 4-point system. So pretty much every day I gotta get 4 points. The way to me to get the 4 points is I get 4 points by getting an executed contract, 2 points by getting a listing agreement executed, and 1 point by showing one client. So every day my goal is to get at least 4 points. You know, that's a good way to kind of like guide yourself so that you know you're making sure you're making you know, you're being productive the whole day.
Oh, you're covering it. Stop trying to take my 5 rivers, what I'm going to cover at the end of this
We
training.
we coming hard out here, man. We coming hard out here, bro.
Hey, listen, and tonight I'm you know why? Whenever you guys get like, I know a lot of the leadership team that we have 18 man, they follow up with you and they're on top of you. Whenever somebody stops caring about you and asking or beating you up, like take it as love. It's like when you're like, if a parent, like if they stop asking about you, that's it, you're gone. That's it. No, they gave up on you. So the more people are harassing, because Jeanette is good. You like, but I'll see a person like Jeanette has a sale. She gets success or like she'll get success. And I had this talk with Pablo, who will come on in a little bit. They're successful in a certain way to lead generate, and they stop doing it because they think they're like, oh, I'm so much better than that. It's gonna come all naturally. They don't post on their social media. They don't follow the certain routines you got to do. And like I was telling Jeanette, without jumping to it, so there's not a day that you don't shower, put makeup on, do your hair, put your shoes on, put your clothes on. Like you got to do that every single day. There's certain things you got to do to be successful, and you can never skip it. But what happens is you do it because you associate more pleasure in not doing it than doing it. So Jeanette, let's just say she doesn't do showings today. It's more pleasurable for her to chill and not do these 5 things that for sure are going to make her successful because she's okay. She has a Lexus park in her driveway. She has a view of the ocean, so she can chill that day. But I tell you right now, this economy or this market is not going to always be that good. And you got to make as much money as you possibly can. And I was actually talking about it. I'll put the pain associated to it, right? So now let me give a little bit of myself. One of my driving forces, I was very selfish, right? When I was in my 20s, making all this money, and I never, ever like got like 5 grand. It's like, here, mom, you took care of it. If you're Cuban, I know probably our parents took care of us till like we're 30 or something. But, and again, it could be from any, but most of us had our parents that took care of it. Some of us didn't. Judy, I know, had to work at 12, 13, 14 years old. So did I, selling Kit Kats and blow pop. But even though my mom took care of, make sure my insurance car, my first car, my dad and my mom helped me. When I was in my 20s making good money, I never like, here, mom, let me pay it back to you. Let me help you. I was very selfish without thinking of money I'm making. So my dad passed away when I was 27, 28 years old. My dad ate horrible, had like multiple heart attacks, and I feel guilty, right? I started feeling guilty. I started putting a pain to that. I started feeling guilty at 30. I'm like, you know what? I lost my dad because I was a selfish piece of crap. And I could have, if I would have put my dad with a trainer, would have cost me what, $15,000 a year to get a trainer to go and see what they got to do. If I would have put him on a meal prep plan, what would that cost me? Another 10,000. My dad would be alive today. And I told these girls that were here and one, I'm like, I will trade everything I have, every single item I have, to have one more day with my dad. I'll give lifestyle away. I'll give all my finances away just to have one more day with my dad. So I let that pain and that selfishness say, like, because of me being so selfish, immature kid going out and partying, just looking to travel and not caring about the people that care about me, my dad's not here today. So I put a big thing in my life that there's never a day, or I mean, there's days that maybe I don't work, but there's not a day that I'm not responding to a text. There's not a day that goes by in my life. And I'm not saying with me or like to impress you guys, but impress upon you how I was able to put more pain to things of not doing because I was so stupid when I was in my 20s. That's why I see a 23-year-old that is on the right path. And I want to make sure it doesn't take her to go to 30. I hope to God that she finds it out now at 23. So by 25, 26, she's in a different world and she's putting a different life for her family, herself, her future kids. Because if you started right now, your kids have a different lifestyle. We'll touch about our kids now. But so that was my biggest driving at 30. So I got into real estate at 29 and still had that selfish mentality. And I started saying, man, I'm 6 months in, I'm not selling shit. I'm like, and I'm not cursing this because now George 2021 is more conviction and a few more curse words. Sorry, Joel. I know, you're a church person like myself, but sometimes you have to have the conviction. When I drop it for a good thing. But so it's not going to happen with my mom. My mom always had multiple jobs. She was still working when I was in my 20s, taking care of kids. And I was like, you know what? She doesn't have to work no more. At 30, I'm going to be, I wasn't even making $1. I said, you know what? This year, making $250,000. And I didn't make it my second year, but I got close to it, but I was on the right path. I stopped drinking. What happened? Our recovery time is horrible. I love wine now. So you guys, you can still give me wine. It's not like I stopped drinking or anything like that. You got to be true. But I started saying, okay, what do I have to do to cut down? I didn't go out on the weekends. I work Saturday and Sunday. And there's a few people. Jennifer Abreu could vouch for my commitment because she was my assistant back in those days. There's not a lot of people here on this call that I could say from back in my days, but maybe there is that they could tell you. And they go, oh, Guzman. Sorry, Guzman. Guzman was there, part of that process. Manny was there. Like, so I start 52 days and I started reading audiobooks, and we're going to cover that. I read a book a week. That changed my, like, I'll tell you what, the biggest change you could take from here, and Jennifer Abreu could touch on it, and I'll let her talk about it because I don't want it only to be me. I want the people's story that I know have changed their lives through hard work and books. But like my number one thing I say is God, thanking God to give me the health and the wisdom and the strength and the want, and to be in this incredible country that we could be from nothing to a hero to, you know, a millionaire over in a year if you really wanted it bad enough. If you do the things that we talk about today and then really put into plan about reading books, this is a great place that we live at. So like books is number two, because I can assure you, everybody in here, for the most part, I don't know, like for the most part, I can always say that quote when I'm in one of the new agent orientations and that. Guarantee you everybody here had immigrant parents for the most part. Now, there may not be, because there's people I don't know on this chat, but I would beg to, like, I would say 95% of you from immigrant parents, that we didn't get taught generational wealth knowledge. So the day that my kids are born, or the day, you know, the people like Jen are now teaching her daughter is reading audiobook. Like she's putting audiobooks in the car when they're like, this like 2 or 3 years ago. I can only imagine now. Her daughter wants to work more. This is what generational wealth affronts you, but we didn't have that. All we had, for the most part, I guarantee, I look at this screen, that most of us had parents that just told us to be good people or work hard or go to school and this and that. But that's not what's working now. So you got to learn what all the people have done it before and listen to a book a week. I guarantee you, that's the last time I picked on you, Jeanette, I promise. Jeanette was listening to Bad Bunny all week, and all she heard about was booty, clubs, cheating on wives, and this. That's all her mindset. Bad Bunny or Anuel or whatever. That's all you're hearing, trash. All you're hearing is that booties, drugs, girls, guys, and this. That's all you put in your brain.
I don't listen to Bad Bunny, okay? I listen to classic rock, okay? I like Journey. I like salsa too.
Yeah, okay. You know, okay. But for the most part, everybody else in here, and again, I'm not saying I don't listen to that music, but I'll say 80% of the time in my car is an audiobook. 80% of the time in the gym. Well, I've been slacking my 2021. I already got a trainer, so get ready. But I slacked on you. So, like, but in the gym, I'll listen to a book a week. In the car, and if you're not doing calls, you better be the audiobooks. And if you're a new person in any business that you are, you're not gonna be that busy. Like you're not gonna be that busy that you're like can't listen. Like now you could go. I guarantee you, Jen's on the phone all day talking to agents, and now audiobooks are harder to come by. Jen, just give the testament of audiobooks, what it did in your life, because I saw you go again from a hardworking person, young, probably didn't have the best work ethic ever, probably was making $20,000-$30,000 a year, to now making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, have an office, multiple properties. What did the audiobooks do that more than I could do? Because I'll talk to you for an hour and that's it. I move on with my life and have to do another thing. And now it's you by yourself. You're looking at the mirror. How did the audiobooks change your life?
So the audiobooks basically, I mean, first I have to say thank you to you for exposing me to audiobooks and to just that different mindset. What audiobooks did is just that they opened up my mind. I had never been exposed to a lot of the things that I listened to. It wasn't my paradigm. It wasn't like where I grew up. It wasn't the people I was hanging out with. They didn't know any of these things. So, you know, listening to different audiobooks and getting different perspective of people's and things that worked and mindset, and just it shifted me completely. I went from, like you said, like I would hang out, I would still, you know, I don't drink at all, like not at all. But I used to party and I used to hang out, and then I basically decided to change my life. I was like, I want different, and in order to want different, you have to do different. So I changed everything, like literally everything. I changed, from the people I hung out with, the people I talked to, the way I worked, the way I answered the calls, the way, you know, my mindset. I started doing vision boards, and I wanted different. You know, I didn't want to be like anybody around me. So I got a mentor, and just growth. And audiobooks did that for me. I learned so much. And I still, right now I do 20, I try to do two books a month, 24 books a year. My goal 2021 is going to be to do 32 books. George actually listens to the books like in fast forward. which,
Yeah, 1.5.
which I used to think he was crazy because I would listen to them and I'm like, how is he processing? And so little by little, I've been speeding up a little bit so that I can, and you just, the more you do it, the more you retain information. It's easier for you. So yeah, I mean, I have to piggyback on that and say audiobooks is total game changer.
Yeah, and thank you, Jen. Jen, give us your best book and your best book recommendation to everybody. And everybody write
So I
this
say
down.
this in all Zooms. The book I love right now is You're a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. Obsessed with her.
Write it down,
She
guys.
has she's amazing. She curses in the book and she's just very relatable, which I like.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Thank you, Jen. And Jen was one of those stories.
What's
But
that title
Jen-
again?
It's called You're a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero.
All right. So one of the things that guys on that goal setting now, when you do your goals, and I'm going to share a sheet with you guys, and at the end of this thing, I'm going to share. Everybody's going to put their email. I mean, I got a lot of people's email addresses, but I'm going to send the Personal Power 30-day program. Anthony Robbins, Tony Robbins was a great thing, and I know a lot of you guys have gone to his actual seminars. But the next thing I'll tell you is I started putting that pain to it. Right. So if I'm not successful, I started putting a pain of like, and some of you guys have heard me have talked about, my mom was always the first thing that really helped me learn, because I didn't have kids, that really helped me start cutting out the junk and really knowing what my whys are going to be. And my mom was the launching pad. So I was like, man, you know what? I was selfish with my dad. I lost my dad. And I could have kept, I know it's for a fact that my dad will be around today. If it wasn't for me being an idiot when I was in my 20s, I know I'll be around. So there's a huge pain in my life because of that. And I always feel guilty of it. And so my mom was in this. I was like, man, my mom was working, still working. Now's one thing is great that she works. So I don't like to take the reason to live. And, statistically, it shows that, when you take your parents' will to live or like reason to live, that they live less years. So I never see, now she exports clothes to Costa Rica and back. Like, it's fun for her. Like, she'll go to the freaking Orlando and has a reason to travel. Now she's still working her business, but she never had to. Got the car, paid the house, like everything was me. So that was a major why, because I was like, man, if I let my mom continue to work, all the strain on her heart, I'm gonna lose her 5 years earlier than I would normally. And I want my mom to be 95, 100 years old. My grandma's 90. I want her to be 105. So if I'm alleviating her of stress-causing things, of her commuting here to Sample Road every day to take care of family, or staying over there when she was taking care of kids, I'm gonna do it. But then I hit that marker. And I was like, what's next? That's why I'll talk to a person like Tali, or like if you don't hit it, what happens? And a lot of times what we do is when you do your goals, guys, don't make your goals just a number. Say, what can you do with 150,000? So I'll go back to Yadi. She says, I want to make $150,000. I'll buy my investment property. Cool. Okay. Let's just say she's able to find the investment property to buy for that amount or enough of a hard money to do the renovation on it. Now what? Why do you want that? Because you'll get that, and it's just like a number, like once you pass $150,000 of yearly income, life is pretty much the same, just a little bit more expensive things. Like that's the number you want to hit to live, like where you go to a restaurant, you're not looking at the menu prices, except Jeanette when she goes to Sea Spice or something like that, or something. I don't know. But once you pass 150 mark, you're good. You got to put pains to it. What if Yadi doesn't hit it? Okay, she gets to 60, 70, 80, 110. What pains? Who's hurting? Yadi, who's hurt? Like, you know what? My little nieces and nephew. If you have kids, even worse. I'll talk Pablo now. Pablo's there, and he can't talk because he has a baby. Leo's sleeping for sure, right?
Yeah, but I can talk. He's good.
All right, so Pablo, I'll touch on you. This is a person that Pablo and I love that I have all you guys on here. Pablo works his butt off. Now he has an extra reason why. Aside from his family, now he has a son. Now you have more why than anybody should have. And what I'll say is, Pablo, why is it that you work hard aside from your son?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? I didn't
What
hear
is your whys right now?
aside from my son?
No. In Kinderson, what is your why? I mean, I know that's your number one. Why do you work as hard as you do?
To provide for my family. I mean, there's no other greater motivation. I mean, I am now the provider of my home, and I have to make sure that I put shelter and food on the table, and I do that by not being lazy, not even 1 second. I always have that reminder that my family comes first.
All right, and I'm glad that you just got your son now. What are your three major goals for 2021?
Okay. Number one, I want to help as many families as I can to either buy or sell their home. If you guys want a number, I want to sell around 20 to 30 homes next year. That was my goal this year. Didn't quite get there, but I got close. I have to try harder next year. Um, Number two, I want to buy my first investment property. And number three, I want to open my own office with lifestyle.
Okay. All of 10. Okay, let me ask you this. I'm glad you're a good person to what happens if you hit your goal again this year? What difference does it make in your life? How would you feel?
I will feel accomplished. I will feel like
No. If you don't hit it, let's talk about if you don't.
if I don't hit it, I feel like a failure. I feel like I didn't try hard enough, and I'll start looking for reasons why I did not accomplish those goals and try to execute them in the following year or that same year even. And most important, adapting quickly and knowing that you're not reaching your goals and knowing what you're doing wrong at the right time, because timing is key. If you're not hitting your goals, like you and I, George, when we met, that was a key moment in my career where you gave me the best advice, but you noticed that I wasn't producing as before. And at the same time, I knew I was doing something wrong. So I was honest with you, and you were able to give me your honest opinion. So acted quickly, adapting like I did when you gave me that advice. So that's what I would do.
Okay. I appreciate that, man. And I thank you for allowing me to be that person, like allowing me to be that person in your life. But Lou, I saw your hand up.
And George, if I may say, there's like an interference.
Go ahead. Yeah, no, it was Pablo, but I muted him. Go ahead.
So for those individuals that don't have the family, that don't have what most of us have, it's very important for those to work even harder if you don't have these things going on in your life. Because at some point, when the boyfriend and the girlfriend come, and the fiance and the wedding and the kids, you want that financial independence already set in place, with backed up by a really good system. You know what I'm saying? Because we're doing this, we're deciding not to have a boss. We're doing this because we want financial independence. I know a bunch of agents that are licensed, and they just get licensed just to be called agents, and they really don't have production. There's literally over I don't know 100,000 agents in the state of New Jersey, and literally it's sad to say that the success rate for agents is below 5% in the state of New Jersey. Why is that? Why is that? Agents, they do a deal, they do a rental, they take a week off. They'll show a house, they'll put in an offer, they don't follow up. They don't lead gen. You have to lead gen. Sometimes as agents, we have to give up the right to be right. And we have to do what we need to do to take our business and elevate it to another level. Because let me tell you, if you're not willing to work hard for your business, okay, if now it's December the 30th, and if you already don't have your 2021 business plan, then you're potentially in a wrong spot. You have to align, and you have to have your goals. You have to make your minimum 100 contacts a day. You have to schedule. I know agents that they're running around like a chicken without a head because they don't have a schedule. You have to have a schedule. You have to have a business plan. You have to know your why.
Yeah, and to touch on that, Lou, thank you for chiming in, Lou. Pablo, I'll share your story, right? So Pablo had like a 20 or 30 or I always like to say the story, and you guys know it. I like to always say Pablo was a bar back or a bartender, but he was a bar manager or like a thing manager. But he came, leaving another industry, coming into lifestyle. And I was like, man, I promise you're going to make this money as long as you do it. But we could touch on that story, and a lot of people know that story. We may share. I might come back to it. But Pablo, I want to stay on you. If you don't hit your goal of 20 to 30 homes, right, this year, who else is affected though? Like not only yourself, of course, you're like your son, your fiance, your wife. Who else though? Like who else do you have? What other family could you really change their lives?
My mom and dad.
Is your mom and dad still working?
They are still working, and one of my goals as well, but that's like more long term, is I can really identify with your goal, George, in the fact that I want to kind of give my parents the ability to not work anymore. And there are different ways that I can do that, right? I'm sorry, I'm getting called. There's different ways that I can do that. So one of my goals is that my mom is an accountant, and I wanna, she used to run. I'm sorry, she used to run her whole entire practice in DR of accounting, and I want to give her the opportunity to do that here. So that's one of my main goals. It's not um, allowing her not to work anymore, because that's not possible. I mean, my mom and I are from the same tree. We're workaholics. So, but give her the opportunity to kind of grow her business here. That's one of my main goals as well. So if I fail in my goals, I also fail not only my son and my wife, but also my parents. So it's just a chain reaction.
All right, so let me plug you here, right? So let me touch on before I go to the more morbid and more deep, where Julie almost cried when Julie was in the office while doing myself. But let's dig in deeper. I see everybody's faces here, and have everybody fit for the ones that don't have their camera out. With a raise of hand, who went to a private school? I'm not putting it up. All right, Carlito, Joel.
Does homeschool count?
No, that's it. No, that because you had the gold spoon, and you lived in Coral Gables mansion. No, doesn't, Adrian. I see Jermaine over there. Jermaine has a badass house in the Keys, Georgia. But let me give you an example. I'll bring in who does that with Dennis know a little bit more. Let's put Dennis on the line. Get Dennis there. What's up, Dennis?
What's up, homie?
Hey, you know my good friend Miguel Savat, right?
Yeah, I know him, of course. What's up?
He sells $20 to $25 million of real estate a year, and the guy doesn't really have to work too hard. I mean, he works hard, so I'm never gonna take that from him. But one of the reasons why he gets $20 to $25 million a year is because his referral network, right? His people, like I went to public school. I never really said this story until recently, but it's sometimes we all come from this hard walk of life. I'm not like these people will say, oh, because I came from the hood. I did. I came from Carroll City. It was a tough neighborhood, but all my friends, if I'm lucky, they probably just bought a house. If they haven't been renting, I talked to one person from my high school. But so if your parents, and the way I think of it of like Pablo, is like now you got to start thinking about like if Yadi's not thinking about it right now because all she has is 2 dogs, but like for you parents, if I know how easy his life was, he was able to like get $1 million referrals, $700,000 home. So he did $20 million in real estate and provided $700,000 to himself just on the friends he knows. I said this story to Julie and Jeanette. Like he buys properties and he gets it rezoned because his person in school is Francis Suarez. He knows the mayor of city of Miami. So he's able to do things that I would never be able to do with my connection, except now that I start building it. So if you don't put your kids in the best school possible, I can tell you even worse. You need to start thinking all you parents, like, man, forget about how much money they can make with the friends when they go to a sleepover. Dennis, what are some of the parents now that little D? What are some of the parents that you've met, like now being in a private school? What do they do for a living?
Well, Pablo will like this one because he's an athlete. Duque's kid,
multi-millionaire athlete.
Marco Rubio's daughter, senior. Those are just a few, and that was one of my whys, which I sat down with George 2 years ago. My son's a sophomore, and that was one of my whys, to put him in, whatever high school I wanted to. And I was able to, luckily, God willing, I was able to do it, and I put him now in Florida Christian.
I love that. Leslie, I think you have your hands up.
Yeah, I wanted to add further. I think, our kids have been leeching off of us long enough. So I've taken advantage and I've put them kind of on payroll where they get referral fee for, giving my card to their friends so their friends can give it to the parents and shit. So, we need to earn your keep around here. And it works because I did get a mom that was divorcing, and the little kid gave it to the mom because she needed to sell the house. So there's just so many different things, different avenues that you could take advantage with these kids and the schools and all of that stuff, and go out of these little, mommy things.
And the cool thing is the DVVR can't do crap about a parent taking care of their kids with an extra PS5. Jakey, I'm sure Jakey wants that PS5. Tell him the next referral, you get the PlayStation 5.
Well, he's like, he's talking to me about Theo George and all these promises. So I don't know, you're in trouble. This kid doesn't forget anything. But yeah, and if you don't have kids, man, use your dogs at the dog park. It is so on point because all the people that are at the dog park all around this time have money because they're not somewhere working. So they're just, their dogs have the little diamond, necklaces, and you need to be around these people.
I love it. And thanks for chiming in, Leslie. Keep on chiming in. Leslie, as you guys can know, is a great why. First year in real estate, $12 million in sales. So if you're not in real estate, that's over 300 grand that she made. So if you need a loan, DM her.
No, Jesus, the money is spent.
Leslie, I would hate it, man. Leslie would keep her commissions in there. Nobody's allowed to do that. Leslie will keep. I remember at the end of last year, she probably had like $100,000 in the lifestyle bank account and hadn't claimed her commissions. And I'm like, Leslie, are you kidding me? I sent her without knowing $50,000. Like, I hope it's at least 50. She's like, no, it's more. But I was like, I don't want to send over. So I sent 50, and then like January 7th, which I hated because now I had to 1099 her. And it doesn't matter. Yes. It was like $105,000 in commission she just had sitting in the bank account, which I don't know how some people do it. But if you owe me $10, I'm asking them for it. But I give you a week grace period before I send it.
That was my tax advisor's request.
No, you know what it is. Somebody was telling me it was Mo's team. Like they're like, no, that's the money I hide from my husband.
Oh, geez, how funny.
That's my savings account. But long story short, she is somebody, guys. If you want to send a message, put your info. Leslie, put your info in the chat. I'm sure somebody here would love to hear your story. They don't know who you are. But so let's go let's go to the next deep thing, right? So this is where Julie almost cried, right? So let's just say you got your kids, you have your parents. Let's just say your kids are taking care of you, put them in private school. And like Dennis, now young D, when he gets out and whatever he does, he may be a doctor, an attorney. Now they have a network of people close. Even if he follows his father's footsteps and now becomes a realtor, his friends and family and peers that he grew up with in high school, they're gonna buy houses from him. So now Dennis just assured him to be a $3 or $4 or $5 million producer without doing anything. So he primed them and the people who's gonna know the relationships. And not only that, because I can tell you too, being that I went to a tougher high school, the crap that he's more likely not going to get into. Like, sometimes, luckily, I was one of the rarer people where as you go to private school, most of them may not end up in a bad situation in their adult lives because they learned a lot of good morals and they're around people that are successful. So more likely you prime them to be in a better life. Because remember, you're only with them when they're at home. But now you got them in a good school, there's a lot more opportunity for them and being a better person in their adult lives. And yeah, there's like bad stories, yeah, but more likely you're going to be a lower percentage that your kids going astray in a private school or in a better high school or in a better neighborhood. So the harder you work, the better neighborhood you could be in. So now there's pain, Davey. If you don't work harder, your kids are primed for worse. You're living in a worse neighborhood. You don't have enough investment property. You got to work so much that you never see your kids. But let's just say you get that and you got that goal and now you're hitting it. Now your parents are taking care of your kids are taking care. Now this is the big one, right? right now, maybe Jeanette doesn't have to, you know what, I gotta stop picking on Jeanette. Let's pick on somebody else. Maybe now, you know, Jenna Brew, let's hit you. Jenna Brew, who's hit the financial goals, has the, if you look at that back of that house or Jenna, let me put the spotlight search on her. Hold on. Spotlight. Look at that. Jen, could you unmute? Unmute.
I'm unmuted.
Could you just say yes or no, okay? Multiple houses. More than 4.
Not yet.
Okay, 3. Okay. Do you have a tennis court in your backyard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
3 kids.
yes.
A puppy.
Yes.
All right. So, you know,
An office. Yes.
An office. But let's get to the other side. And Jen's a softie too. Now you know what, Jen, incredible job. Raised over $7,000 for orphans and homestead that we really get to see. That is not like, you know, we did the Joe DiMaggio thing, and thanks to Yadi that helped us and Litza get that and teach me something called an earmark when you donate to a special wing. So we donated to children with cancer, good cause. Yeah. But let's hit Jen and where Julie started crying. So a big softie. And now let's just say, what's your goal, Jen? Like, no, not what's your next big why? Aside from, you know, you're hitting your money, you're going to make it. Now it's on autopilot. You really don't, I know you want to be a $10 million producer, but that's not like what I really want to hear. Like, it's, what is the next big thing you want to do? Like, what is the next thing you want to work on?
Okay, so the next big thing I want to do is obviously grow a homestead, but I also want to open up the Keys. And I mean, my big why is my kids and my husband. Like, I want to be able to, I want them to have financial freedom, and I want to be able to give them more of undivided attention because I work a lot. I mean, I'm a workaholic. I love what I do. And even when I'm on vacay, even when I'm in whatever house we're in, I'm always working. I respond to every agent. I never turn down a call. So, I mean, that's my big why is my kids is I want my kids to not have to struggle. Not that they're struggling, because they're not, but you know, I want them to have, like you say, like the Miguel Salvats, where they're exposed to different things. So like my daughter right now is traveling. She went to Savannah, now she's in New Orleans, and just she's exposed to a different crowd of people that I was never exposed to. So I want to give, that's my big thing, is to expose them to different environments.
All right,
of
so
growth.
let's get the next thing. And
George,
yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask a question. I've heard a lot of great ideas with regards to progressing forward in our real estate careers, but I wanted to ask the question, the biggest factor in moving forward to say hitting some of those goals, say from a year 1 agent to a year 2 agent. I would like to ask that question because
you're getting in this. I'm gonna let one last thing. You're coming up soon, Miles, but hold on. But the
no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
The last
don't do
point
that,
I make
please.
before we go to the actual how do we get there and what research are you gonna do? Because guys, we've been in here an hour. We're touching deep points, and I wish I could have done it to everybody, but I'm opening myself and all the leadership that they'll sit there with. So we're gonna get on how we get there. But there's a last statistic that I'm gonna put, or not the last point of the mindset part we have to, but then Miles, your story too. Okay, so all right, so Jen, and then everybody else, the last point that I want to make, you're hitting the financial market. You're gonna get there. This year, you all are gonna hit it. I'm gonna give you the ways to get there, and there's no exceptions to it. You guys gotta do it. We're gonna make that one huge, incredible shift in this world. All of us here on this chat hopefully puts it into practice, right? Well, we will, not hope. Jen has a house, she has the cars, you know, the properties, the office. Now there's another thing. I'm gonna share my screen now. And this is where you gotta, hold on a second, why is it? Oh, Zoom wants to, hold on, Zoom. Hold on a second, I'm Zoom's not allowing, let Zoom control my app. Click to me, sorry, I just got this new computer. All right, I'm gonna allow Zoom to, oh, wow. Oh, no. I can't do it right now. but, oh no, I could do it on my laptop and share the screen here. Sorry, hold on. Wow, I should have done this the first time, but if I stop the recording now, it's gonna kill it. Let me just allow the share. Give me 1 second. Don't lose track, guys. Let me allow screen sharing. All right, screen share. Jeez, okay. All right, let me see here. All right. Eunice. So I just did this. Second. Okay, perfect. All right, sharing my screen here on my laptop. Thank God I had it open. Share screen. All right, perfect. All right. All right, so let's go to that, right? Jen, your next thing, one of my biggest whys after my mom was taken care of, my financial goals were there, that, you know, money wasn't really a big thing. Like, of course, it's a benchmark that allows you to see how successful. Every single day, it's under 5 is 14,000, but under 8 is 20 to 30,000 kids will die today. This is a surety. This is not like maybe this today we got lucky and it's 2,000. For sure, that's how many kids will die a day. So us, how could we be selfish? Like, you know, I was talking to Jeanette and Julie, and I was like, how could we take a Saturday off and not say, let me do, and again, we're all human, so we're gonna do things, but how could I not sponsor more children around the world? That's gonna be your driving force, where you now are compelled, like, if I don't work hard enough, or I don't give back enough to the whole world, not only in the United States, usually nobody's gonna start, but we like to help locally. How do I make myself work harder? And the other thing that helped me work harder was thinking about me being able to go to God when the day happens and say, God, at least I was a faithful servant. I was able to save another 100, 200, 300 people, or whatever the case. My numbers to be thousands by the time that, you know, I'm gone from this small flick of a finger of existence. So how do you do it? I started going to World Vision. I started thinking about how many kids, because of me being lazy and not sending if I said a family, if everybody here has an iPhone, you make more. And again, not only for you guys to say like how much you want to give back, but to be grateful. When you're setting your goals, don't ever beat yourself up. Like, be grateful. You're richer than 5 billion people on this planet. You got to remember that. And you also got to remember how lucky you are, even in the worst of times. So whenever there's an issue that happens, I really don't let it bother me, because I read about this, how to put this in your mind. But guys, realize how good you have it and how much you should give back. Like, it is a disservice to have all the opportunity that we have and not even be able to provide, you know, like with major abundance to our own parents, to our own kids, to the whole world. That if you gave $400, you feed a whole family, you save their lives. Like, you got to start thinking that way. That's the only way you're going to push yourself to wake up on a Saturday and prospect. That's the only way you're going to wake yourself up, to wake up at 5 in the morning, to work hard, to be able to change lives. So I'll leave it at that. That's how, whenever I have a bad day, I start thinking about it. Really that bad? Like, I'm not starving. You know how many kids died today? That's my biggest thing. And that's why I always push for kids. I like you guys to know that, because it's very important to know that statistics, to know how lucky you are. That being said, we covered a major, this is not this is an hour. This is going to take you hours and weeks and months and years of practice to be able to do this every single day and realize that. So the first book that I'm going to talk about, right? And now, Miles, you got to ask that question. You're like, hey, how do we get there? We're going to talk about the 5, like Marvin had touched it, but we're going to talk about the books that I kind of put this like on a social media post. But the first thing you guys got to do is start waking up early. And the number 1 book, as most people could tell you, is The Morning Miracle. Jen, how was The Morning Miracle?
It's amazing. Whenever I'm feeling like sluggish or like, I don't want to do this, I start listening to that book again, and it just completely transforms me.
All right, so Miles, you unmute yourself, Miles.
Yes, sir.
When was the last vacation you went to?
In 2020, ain't no such thing as vacation, homeboy. You know that.
What was the last one you went to? Where was the last one you went to?
We went to I mean, for Thanksgiving, my wife and her family is in the Tallahassee, Thomasville, Georgia area. So she wanted to go visit her family, but I don't necessarily classify that as a vacation.
What was your last real vacation though?
My last real vacation, I would say 2018. To commemorate my wife and I's 11-year anniversary, we took a 7-day Royal Caribbean cruise. Now that's a vacation.
What did you fly or you got on a cruise?
No. It was a cruise.
What was the last
right here?
What was the last time? Okay, let me get to who's been on a vacation that the flight was early in the morning? Anybody? Raise your hand. Okay, let's see who I haven't picked on. Hey, Johnny, you're on there. Johnny now full-time in real estate, so I'm excited. Johnny, you gone on a vacation like that flight is at 5, 6, 7 in the morning, or you got to Santo Domingo early in the morning, right?
Correct.
That night, let's just say your flight was at 7. You probably couldn't sleep, right? And you didn't even wake up with an alarm. For the most part, all of us think about it. When you're going on a flight, you're going on vacation, you couldn't sleep at night, you're like so excited, and you wake up even before the alarm. You're dreaming about it. You're waking up at 1 in the morning. You're waking up at 3. It's like, oh my God, it's not yet. You're waking. All of us have that feeling. It is incredible. But we don't have that feeling about business. Right? We don't wake up on you should. Everybody, Steve Jobs did a disservice, and I always quote him. Steve Jobs did a disservice to you and say, follow your passion, quit your job, follow your passion, and do it. But I don't care what you tell me. If you're not good at real estate, you're not going to be passionate about it. If you need to get good and work so much that you become good at it, and then you become passionate about it. But if you're not winning or you're not getting closer, you're not going to do it. So one of the things you guys got to do, and this is Miles I asked, how do I start doing this? Reading the books and putting it into play. First thing I'm going to share with you, guys. I'm never going to be a hypocrite and say I do this every single night. But I'll tell you, year 2, 3, 4, and 5, I did it, right? Now I'll do it like every 4 or 5 nights, right? But for you guys that are trying to achieve something, and again, I still have a lot of goals. Now I want to hit the 1,500 agents. I want to hit 700 in sales volume. I want to make New Jersey like we did in Miami. So now honestly, New Jersey gave me new life and new goals and new aspirations. But before going to bed, let's just see. First, who's gonna? This is like school. Jen. Read the first paragraph.
Okay. First, I have completed all of my daily tasks necessary to prepare myself for tomorrow, including setting everything out that I need for my miracle morning. My alarm clock is across the room, so I will have to get out of bed to turn it off. I have decided what time I am waking up, and I have clarity as to specifically what I'll do when I wake up. I am anticipating the morning with positive expectations and excitement because I am well aware of the benefits that I will receive by choosing to wake up and live the miracle morning. It is allowing me to become the person I need to be, easily, consistently attract, create, and sustain the life that I truly want.
Johnny, read second paragraph.
I am going to bed tonight at p.m. and waking up at a.m., which gives me hours of sleep. This is plenty. In fact, it is exactly what I need in order to perform at a peak level tomorrow. The reality is my mind controls my body, and I really only need as much sleep as I tell myself and choose to believe that I need. Many of the most successful people in history have functioned optimally on 4 to 6 hours of sleep. And I cannot allow myself to fall into the limiting belief that sleeping more will somehow improve my life. In fact, it will only be seriously detrimental to my stress level, finances, relationships, career, and lifestyle goals. My quality of life as I know it depends on my waking up on time tomorrow.
And that is key. So we gotta be, we think that if you guys haven't on your self-discovery, like I can tell you that Jen is on self-discovery, like she's already on that next level, like going to seminars. Jen goes with and Jen, I'm putting your business out, but Jen goes to retreats for this kind of stuff. There's a lot of people that have done a lot of this, so I can tell you that they're on their ways there. And it's not there's a reason that success leaves crumbs, and these people are producers and outputting every single year in, year out, because you have to be disciplined enough to be able to follow that. right? It's like if you're going to the gym, and like, who do I have here? Like on the gym tip here. It's on here. Let's use, but Jeanette, you go to the gym, you eat right, right? Or you try to eat right. Could I be fit and yeah, could I be fit, eat McDonald's and Burger King, but go to the gym every day?
No,
Probably
70% is what you eat and 30% is what you work out, right?
All right, could I go to the gym and be on social media all day in the gym and work out nothing and be there for 2 hours?
Because you have to focus.
No, I know, but there is people that do that, right? There is people I see in the office that are here 8 hours a day and they're not really successful because they're not being disciplined with their time. You gotta be disciplined with your nights. You gotta have, like, you know, you had asked Miles, here's some tips everybody needs to write. Everybody needs to go to Amazon. And I said, now we're gonna go on how we're gonna get there. All right, guys, so we're an hour. We got 30 minutes left. I wanted to keep it under 2 hours. Everybody needs to get a sharp, like a washable marker. Every single day, you're gonna tell yourself what you're gonna do the next day. Miles, you wanted to do prospecting. You wanted to call 10 new clients. You wanted to follow up with the last 6 sales, and you wanted to read an hour of your book. I want you to get a yellow notepad and keep it by your bed. That same sheet, I'm gonna send it to her. You need to get the Miracle Morning and all that type of thing. You're gonna read every single thing you're gonna do before you go to bed every night, and I promise. And then you're not gonna just say, I gotta go out this and this and this. You wanna put the means to the end. Why am I gonna call 10 people? Why am I gonna DM 60 people on social media? Because what the result is. Better school for my kids. You know, a better place I'm gonna live. I'm gonna get out of this apartment or this bad neighborhood. I'm gonna move to a better house. I'm gonna get the next investment property. They're just, you need to know why you're doing it before you go to bed. So you wake up you'll wake up in a different, complete mindset. If you now know why when you go to bed, what you're gonna be doing. So get your Sharpie, put it in your mirror. Most girls in here probably look at the mirror all day. Sorry, some of the guys too. Sorry, you know what? Guys and girls look at the mirror all day. I think Johnny, when we shave our head, we have to look at the mirror all day. But girls here, look at the mirror. Imagine seeing why you're doing this. Your whys. Listen, you know what? On your mirror, put your whys. Hey, if I don't work hard today, my mom will live 5 years younger. Live 5 years after. My kid's gonna go to the worst school possible and potentially live a life of crime or drugs or whatever. And I'm putting extremes. You got to think extremes. You know what? If I don't get the property, I'm gonna have to be working till I'm 65 years old, 7 years old. You got to see this every single day. Then at night, you're gonna tell yourself why you're getting up every single morning. There's an example. Is Pablo still here? If he's not here. But you guys, if you're not listening to what yourself and pushing yourself every single day, if you don't see it, that's why weeks will go by. Miles, and I give Miles shit. Miles had a $60,000 a month, couple deals. And now, just like I talked to Jeanette, the things that got him there, he starts skipping. That's what happened with Pablo. He had 0 deals under contract. A guy who just made 40, 50 grand, now in the next 90 days was making $0 because he stopped doing what he needed to do. He stopped reminding himself why he's working. He got his ego saying that he could do this and replicate every day, month in, month out. Miles would post on social media, and Miles, I'm gonna call you out. I haven't seen you post on social media. What was the last post you did?
Oh no, I haven't posted this week. You're right.
But that goes to it. How could you guys think that you're gonna be successful in something and not repeat the exact same task every single day? You had breakfast today, Miles?
Of course.
You put on, I mean, your parents, you put your clothes? You brush your teeth today?
Absolutely.
You showered today?
Absolutely.
You can never forget none of those things. You can never skip. And that's what I'm going to talk about. There's 5 things you got to do in any business. It's prospect, follow up, but like you cannot skip social media. Like there's people that have made hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's made me millions of dollars. And I don't say what impress upon you how incredible it is. How much, Leslie?
No, but you're taking the mic.
Hey, Leslie.
Yes, sir.
How much money? Put me a direct number in the last 2 years of you being in real estate. Give me a real money financially. How much money has social media made you? Looks at it. She's horrible, so I'm not making it. Jen is probably, I should bring Jen. There's other people here who are way better, but how much money has social media made you?
What do you mean way better? Oye, cuidado. I would say social media alone, over a quarter in the last 2 years, over a quarter.
$250,000. And I'll give you shit too. And she can't even do it as well. What happens is she will get it because you're gonna say social media is gonna give me this amount of sales. So that's why you have to put a breakdown on it. Leslie, I'll tell you what, better than anybody in here, I've seen Leslie talk to a tree. Anywhere Leslie goes, she's talking to somebody. And Leslie will get, I've seen Leslie get sales at a bar. Like I've seen Leslie talk to a person in an elevator and get sales. She's good at that. But you can't only give your pros. Leslie's has had great months, but she could have exceptional month in, month out, because she'll have an exceptional month on her referrals. She works all firefighters in Miami, but she didn't touch on social media. So she let $30,000-$40,000 that month potentially not work as well. If you want to be exceptional, you can never skip one thing. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. You cannot skip one thing. It's huge. So like, I'll give you an example. Who was in here that I saw that makes a lot of money through social media? Carlito. I'll give Carlito. He's been a lender. How long, Carlito?
This is my second full year originating.
What was your number one driving force to get your numbers where it's at right now?
I mean, for me, it's always been like a long time kind of thing to be successful and be where I'm at now. I had tried like a lot of different things. So I mean, providing for my family and just having abundance is what I, repeat to myself every day.
No. How did you get to be a top producer for your lending firm? What app or what tool got you there?
Oh,
aside from your
media,
working hard, of course, working hard comes with it. But what app?
Yeah, social media and cold calling and just the drive and wanting it. I found something that I love and I couldn't stop. I was from like 9 a.m. to midnight almost every day. But social media is pretty much how I got to branch out and make connections.
Could you say and a number? Social media has maybe done 70% at first. What was the percentage of your deals coming in from social?
Yeah, I would say that about 70 and then 30 like cold calling.
And guys, like I'll teach people how to do this and they won't do it again. So what happened with like Leslie? She's making $300,000. She could have made 500 or 600, but she let that avenue dry up. You cannot let any avenue dry up. It has to be consistent, like breathing air. I wake up, I thank whoever you want to thank. I guarantee you, everybody that has their camera on, and some of you guys have seen this, but some people are not. Everybody raise your hand, just so I can see it. I want everybody raise your hand. I'm looking at everybody. Ryan, I see you too there, bro. I appreciate you being on there. That's what do you say, better half or other half? That's Boosie's other half. But everybody has their hand up. If you did not, if the only way, lower your hand if you didn't check social media from your bed this morning. Everybody has their hand up still. Everybody still has their hand up. This is the one a little bit more close, and I love to get pure to it. Leave your hand up, only lower your hand if you, wait, how would I structure it? Lower your hand if you peed first, like you stayed in bed before you even peed in the morning, you were still on social media before you even peed. Lower your hand if you did go to the bathroom and then check social media. Everybody's hands are still up. Before you even peed, oh, Jeanette lowered her hand. Who else? I'm putting Yadi's, I don't know, scratch your hair. People are not even going to the bathroom and they're checking social media. I say that's statistic. And I love to say it.
The PP can wait. Social media comes first, okay?
It is crazy. Companies cannot even afford to do what we do. You could be in bed with anybody's husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend, and you are.
Hey, whoa, wait.
Hey, and you have to hear that.
Hey, cuidado.
We have a vessel that's incredible, and we're not using it. This will make you millions. Leslie would have probably made $1 million her first year. And if she would have made an extra 200 if she did it consistently.
Yeah, man, I'm the Janet now.
That's it. Hey, listen, you are, yeah, I'm picking on her like I'm to save now. But like, guys, you have something that is free and you're not using it. I talk to agent, I'm like, how many direct messages did you make? You know how Miles, 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 how did Miles post would come out all crazy because he never posted in his life on social media, and he had the potential. He had like a $40,000 or $60,000 a month. A deal or two fell off. But Miles, like, talk like why could they get you all this money? This was the only thing that drives me wild in real estate that like pisses me off, honestly, is that you guys have a route in anything you do in your life and you're not using it. Like,
if I may,
crazy.
If I may say something, George, who on here has an Instagram account?
For the most part, everybody should have it.
Okay, so question number 2. Who on here has an Instagram business account? Did you guys know that posting on social media versus adding a story on social media on Instagram is by far more effective than just putting a post up? So to be honest, I don't buy leads. I don't do none of that. I don't do it. Every time that I post something on my Instagram, on my story, you have the option where you can click to add a link on there. What do I put on that link? I put my website on there for my business, which is real estate. Once somebody clicks on my story on IG, okay, and they click swipe up, automatically my real estate website comes up. And guess what happens? That now my website snatches up that lead, automatically puts them in my CRM, regardless if they're a buyer or a seller or someone who's I'm just looking. Either way, I have a contact that I can groom. If they're buying or selling, or if they're not, I will reach out to that individual because that individual might have someone in their circle that's looking to buy or sell. And it's free.
And it's free. And just if we could go on and on, but like, give me an example. Let's see successfully scrums. Leslie made 300,000 plus. She's still rocking and rolling. So I'm gonna put her shit because this is a big thing. So let's look at Leslie, right? Leslie, we're breaking you down. Sorry, you're the new Jeanette. All right.
Oh,
so
man.
Leslie's Instagram. She posted good. Look at her engagement. 163 likes, 66 comments. One thing. Look at all this feedback. She stayed in front of people. Then you put anything with a dog, you're getting likes. 4 days ago, okay, I'll give you a slide. Then December 6th, 3 posts in a month. That's unacceptable. And she's rocking and rolling. Then you had in December. Oh no, sorry, you had another post. But you have the success. Let's see your stories. Hopefully it's nothing.
I do my stories every day.
Okay, all right. She gets it. And she got, okay, perfect. So I will, this is not a social media class, but I will do that maybe next. I'm gonna do more of these classes. And I'm glad that 82 you guys are still here. We got up to 100. I think people are mad that we didn't get into it. Guys, there's no exception. So Miles, you gotta really, Miles, there's more pleasure. And this is why you don't post it. And this is something you gotta dig deep. There's more pleasure in your life than doing your whole day in whatever manner you want without being strategic about it, because you're not. Because if you were really strategic and you saw how much money this has made you already, it's shown itself to you. You really now need to sit down and dig deep and be like, why haven't I posted? It's more pleasure for you to get up in the morning, whatever time you want. And again, it might not be early enough or it might be early. Not do your social media post that takes you, 2 minutes, knowing that you could be in everybody's mind, all your referrals will be sending you, and it's more pleasurable for you not to do it and do it in the way you're doing it. And if you're trying to reinvent the wheel, that's never going to work. You're never going to be a top producer if you can't consistently. And I'm not saying it about, I hope you take this with good conviction. You're never going to get there if you can't do the basic things every single day. Get up.
I'm with you, George. I would just as a disclaimer, that was just the last week or so. Before that, I was pretty consistent. That was just the last week or so. And you're right, there's no excuse. I've actually kind of been strategizing and putting things together to come back in the new year. So that's kind of why I took a little break. Again, that's not an excuse. That's actually just the truth. That actually is me kind of planning, plotting, and strategizing and trying to formulate somewhat of a social media presence and strategy for 2021. But at the end of the day, I would say you're 110% correct, because social media has definitely been good to me as it pertains to my real estate career and generating leads and moving forward in that regard.
And that's great. And it's kind of like the first step is acceptance of a fault and then being able to work it, but then holding yourself liable if you still repeat this fault, right? You can't say, okay, I know it doesn't make me money and it's made me potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars, but I'm going to stop doing it. Like, you can't. And that's why it's important to have these whys hurt you. Like, you got to now start thinking, man, if I don't post every single day, I'm going to still be in this rat race. I'm not going to have the investment property, and it has to hurt you. There's kids dying around the world. No sponsorships I'm doing. I'm not giving back. And I promise you, without getting all spiritual, anything you give back to this world has shown itself a million times. And you could ask million people, tenfold. Anybody here who is giving back, it gives it back tenfold. The more people you help, the more people you go. And one of the things I love about lifestyle, the more leaders you make around you, for sure you know you're doing good. So that's one of my drives. I want to make more managers. I want to make more leaders. I want to be more opportunity. You guys got to find that. Jeanette, there's no reason why your social media, you're doing successful. You're doing stories every day. You do a great story. And by the way, stories are king. Feed posts are necessities that people, that when they dig, they're seeing your success from previous weeks and they're able to follow your story about it. But stories have to be consistent. That's a must every single time. And guys, the things I want to cover is that. So the 5 things, and look, I'll give you one last example. Let me see who's here that does this. Facebook like for Facebook. You know what? I'll pick on Anthony. Anthony, you there?
Yes. What's up, brother?
So Anthony was able to get our online lead generation system. He found that he was at it, but Anthony has all the methods, all the ways of being successful. He knows it. He works. He closes. But for example, he found a way, and a lot of you guys know too, and they won't do the Facebook every single day. They'll skip days, thinking like, you know, God is not going to throw me a new lead here that I don't have to do Facebook Marketplace, and you cannot skip that. If you did it every day, Anthony, there'll probably be another 6 to 15 sales you would have had this year.
Not a doubt.
Right? Would you say if you did it every single day, you would have had
not a doubt, man.
20, 30, 5 more sales easily since we first met?
100%.
And then where Anthony now starts to think, and most of you guys may say, man, I'm so busy right now. Jeanette's not busy as she could be. And Leslie is busy. She now started a team. So now you guys got to start thinking like entrepreneurs should and say, man, you know what? I'm going to lead generate so much that 5 people are not going to even be able to eat, be able to handle it. And that's where Leslie's at. And other people are at. Pablo does that. Dennis does that. Be a blessing to other people. If you're blessing other agents to be successful, lead generate. And I've shown you guys free ways. And again, if you guys are not part of the brokerage, one day, hopefully I can show you. And if you're in other industries, I'll show you that. Just DM me or try and I'll show you. You guys could be so busy doing 8 showings a day without a doubt. And most people fail at it because they are beating themselves up to try to find a new way to make it easier. What is the number one thing here? Diet pills sell like crazy because everyone wants to cheat the system and get there without putting in the hard work. And you got to wake up every single morning before everybody else does. That's a fact. If you're not waking up at 5, 6, and unless you work a late job, and some of you guys may, you need to be waking up before your competition does. You got to start thinking of this as competition. Here's the 5 things, and let me get to it quick so we can end this at 1. First thing, every single day, gratefulness. Look at why when you went to bed, why you're going to bed and why you're waking up. Because if you just say, I just want to get early in the morning to be successful, nah, not enough. What's happening if I don't wake up in the morning? You know what? My mom's going to struggle, my kids, my business is going to do. You know what? If the industry changes, I'm going back to whatever industry I was. That was my biggest fear. When I left my marketing company, I was like, man, I have to go back to a car business where I'm going to work 60 hours a week every weekend and not have the, W-2 taking my money out. I'm not going to, I was so fearful of going back to that. The major reason why was I got to be successful. So I never have to go back to where I was. And I never want to be able to say I didn't make it. So you guys have all that opportunity. Gratefulness. 2, every single morning, every 2 days, 2 to 3 days, you can't skip a day, a feed post on IG. Biggest thing I do here, I promise you, there's not a lot of things I'm going to give you homework for. And again, I wish it was a smaller class that tested to it. I do it in a minute and a half. Send 10 direct messages. all entrepreneurs, like send 30 to 60 direct messages outgoing, but don't go for the pitch. If I see Joel is doing whatever, I'm gonna like, hey, Joel, I love that. And I do it all the time. Joel, how many times, bro, fire. I see Dennis drinking
All the
wine.
time.
Like, wow, you went without me, Dennis. I see Leslie do something with the kids, like, oh my God. I see a baby shower of a family I have no idea. I'm like, oh my God, I'm team boy. I see Jermaine hunting out there, and I'll say, wow, bro, I wish I was back at your cabin. I could say to every single one of you that know me here, knows I send you direct messages every single time when I can. And that's me, that I have to do a million things. If you guys aren't that busy and you're not sending at least 60 direct messages a day, you don't want it bad enough. And you got to find the reason why that you really want to have this and why you want to do it. I see Johnny, what your why is. Bro, I don't want to go back to corporate. I went to real estate. Yeah, you've been trying to find me, but I haven't seen you at the office one time. You don't want it bad enough. I'm calling people out. You have
I've been showing apartments the whole week.
I know it's not enough. You realtors, all you realtors do 3 showings on a Saturday that took you 30, 40 minutes. Oh, I worked my Saturday. No, you did not. You worked 2 hours of a potential 16 hours in a day. Your why's not big enough. Your parents, you know what? Yeah, you may want to do it, but you're not doing it. I even beat up Yadi or Litsa that are here with me. And I go, Litsa, where are you traveling from? Are you rewarding yourself from hard work because you closed 1 file in the last 4 months? Well, like, is that, and sorry to put you out there, she's here. Like you're really going to reward yourself for selling a house in 4 months? And realtors I see traveling and taking the weekends off? No, you haven't earned it. You're shown 3 properties or 4 properties or 5 properties. Okay, what did you do with the other 6 or 7, 8 hours? Watch Netflix, chill in the couch. You should be in an office every single day, right? You know, there's people in this country that can't even show up to the office, and you have all the opportunities. The biggest top producers show up to an office, unless they're super successful or very rare exception. You're not that person yet, for the most part. Most of you guys that I know in here, why are you not showing up every single day? There's people that, there's one thing. You stay at home, you don't see people's wins. You're coming into an office, you're seeing people be successful, doing things better, you adapt and you learn. So why are you taking a vacation if you're not selling over $5, $6, $7, $8 million a year or making a lot more money in another industry? I don't know why. I see people staying out or partying and going to dinner. What did you win? You're still in a rat race. You're still, and again, I'm not saying you guys, for the most part of the people I see, you're still using your credit card to buy things, and you think you deserve to like think you're working. No, you're not. There's people around this world you could be helping, your family, and there's no reason why you should be celebrating anything. Because if you are, and people say, oh, and I put that up on Instagram, right? And I'm gonna put the post here and myself so you guys can see it, right? And I'm gonna get on this point here. And again, this is the conviction part of things, and I want to make sure you guys take it. 2 things, and I did it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do more of this, even if it alienates myself, and saying like, here's a good one, right? Some of you guys saw this, or some of you guys didn't. If your parents are still working, honestly, you're not working hard enough, man. And again, I don't want to
Eso duele, papi.
Insult anybody, but you really don't care enough yet, and you need to discipline yourself to really care about them. I lost a parent. Don't let that be you, right? Saying that you could have saved their life or make their life better, or be grateful to them that they brought us into this world and took care for us however long it is. And if you don't have the parents, the people who raised you, your grandparents, whoever they may be, right? That was one. And then another thing is, man, are we gonna leave another life? There's another one that touched the line. I got a lot of feedback on it. Man, let's break this curse, man. This curse of like being okay in life, just because we live in a great country, love it or hate it, and I hope it's love. But let's just say you feel like you have all the opportunity, guys. You have it all. There's no reason why you guys are not making abundance. There's people I do see grinding. I see a Tony there every single day at an office for the most part, and he just he'll be on the phone. Everybody, it's just, you guys got to do it. So that's the conviction part of things. So every single day, 2 to 3 posts. I mean, you have to at least do 3 story posts. If I see now, and it's okay, look, as a broker owner kind of thing, right? Or any of the partners that are here on here, we're okay if you do 6 sales a year. We are, because that's 6 sales a year that we wouldn't have seen. We'll be okay with that finance. But as a goal setting or a person that cares about you, and if not all of our leadership cares about you, We want you to be in abundance. 12, 24 so should be everybody's mindset. Like with Instagram alone, you'll make that. But you got to do your 2 to 3 stories a day. I don't care what you're doing. Keep it about your business. Make it fun. A lot of times we've had a few people like, oh no, I got my Instagram for my business and my Instagram for myself. Who wants to follow your open house and just sold 20 posts a day? I want to see what you're eating. I want to see what wine you have. I want to see your kids. I see a bottle of Camus guaranteed in front of Dennis, right? Camus, somebody give you a Camus. It better be for us. But I want to see about your life. Don't insult me. Go ahead, Joe.
So yeah, just to hit a little bit on this, there's a book by Russell Brunson that is called Traffic Secrets. And one of the things that they talk about when you're posting on social is to create buckets of different aspects of your life. For example, if you have, faith, that's a bucket. If you have family, that's another bucket. If you have real estate, that's another bucket. And what you do is you set up each day is a different bucket, and you post about those different things each day. So if Monday is your faith day, then that's when you post about your faith. If Tuesday is your real estate day, then you post about real estate. And what happens is your audience is going to be composed of people who come to you for each different bucket. And then what ends up happening is when they, you might have a person that came to your profile for faith, but then they get interested in you as a realtor. And so your buckets start crossing over into each other. And so you have people that might have come to you for real estate that had no idea that that you like music, and so now they're bonding with you on music, and your audience starts to grow. And what ends up happening is you have 7 days worth of buckets where those people are going to be sharing the content that's important to them, to their audiences, because they feel like you're giving them the content that they came to your profile for.
No, I agree. And Joe, you hit the nail on the head. I want to call it one of my favorite ones, that even people, Miles, what day is Ratchet Wednesday? I mean, is it Wednesday or Ratchet Friday? What day is Ratchet Wednesdays?
Right. You got it's Mindset Monday, Teach One Tuesday, Ratchet Wednesday, and Family Friday. Those are my 4 buckets, Joel. Those are my 4.
That's awesome.
Miles, unbeknown to you, right? People already know about that. Like people, hey, today's Ratchet Wednesday. To people, your peers, imagine your clients.
You know what's ironic? You know what's ironic about that, George? I played basketball with this group, and one of my partners said something to me about Ratchet Wednesday, and I thought it was real funny. Like, you don't think people are paying attention, but no, social media is a tool. It's definitely there, man. It's definitely there. You 110% correct. Like I said, I was just taking a small break, George. I wasn't necessarily being lazy. I was taking a small break to strategize, but I appreciate the motivation. You're supposed to be on our ass. So I got you, dog. I got you. I promise you.
Listen, what will happen is I want to challenge everybody here on the call to do this for a month consistently. Post your buckets every day consistently for 30 days. And what's going to happen is on day 31, don't post. And you're going to start getting messages from people like, hey, I've been waiting for your devotional, or hey, I've been waiting on your motivational, hey, I've been waiting on your ratchet post or whatever. And you're going to realize that people that don't comment are still watching. People that don't engage are still paying attention. And just because they didn't hit the like button at that moment doesn't mean that they don't know that you're a realtor. It doesn't mean that they don't know that you have something to offer them. And when you stop offering it, people are going to start noticing. And that's how you're going to know, man, I'm building an audience that cares about what I'm posting about.
And guys, and one of the things, and what always pisses me off, Leslie, Leslie, Abreu, I'll give Abreu a pass. Decker, sorry, Ryan Decker. Ryan, don't beat me up, Ryan. And other individuals, like, you'll see how much money it makes you. Adi, I see you on here. Adi from PRMG's here. These people are so good at it, but some of them never skip a day. You can't skip a day. So make sure you're 2 to 3 posts on IG, 60 direct messages out. Another huge thing that is gold right now is Facebook Messenger. Message people there too. Look at their stories. I always find it suspect though, if you don't post on Instagram or you don't post on, this is a joke by the way, but when people put on WhatsApp stories, I'm like, yeah, why are you putting in WhatsApp stories? But hit up WhatsApp too. Have the niche in WhatsApp. And WhatsApp, the great thing is, let's just say I have $5,000 contacts because I imported from like LinkedIn. These are people that will never ever see my story on Instagram because they don't follow me. And now you can get them on WhatsApp. So do that. LinkedIn, huge. You should, this is your goal. First day, grateful in the morning. Number 2, your Instagram post. Make it every day when you get up, 6 in the morning. You know what's great for a client to see? That when they wake up at 7 in the morning, you already posted. Who do I want? You know, get an email. I want my realtor that at 5 in the morning is sending me an email about properties. I don't want a realtor that's sending me a morning at 2 in the morning because I'm probably wakes up late. And that's the most part. Some of you guys are, oh, I'm a night owl. Stop being a night owl. If you look at all the successful people, they wake up early. They don't go to sleep late. There's a reason for that. Our bodies are primed to wake up in the morning. And unless you're working some, you know, you're a bouncer or something like that, our bodies are primed to wake up in the morning. Stop messing up with your cycle. Now, you say you can't sleep at night, start taking melatonin until you get your body ready to it, and you'll stop. Stop watching TV. Like, don't look at your phone at night. I bet you after a week, you set your body right. But if you're not going to wake up early, if you don't know why you're doing it, you don't really care. You don't let it burn. You don't put pain to the things that you don't have in your life or the goals you haven't hit. Tony Robbins is great to it. And I'm going to link that here. So that's the second, your story post, DM, boom. Third thing I always tell people to prospect.
Hey, George, if you don't mind me saying something that works for me, that gets me 2 to 3 appointments a week, is something called gratitude text. So on every platform, either of Facebook direct messenger, IG direct messenger, and especially on text message, I send out 30 gratitude texts each morning to new people. And
I love that.
My gratitude test consists of, thank you for your support and trusting me with all your real estate needs. Do you know where I get that from? Okay, FISBonanza.com. I get all of those numbers, all these FISBOs, and I send them, copy and paste that gratitude text. They call me back inquiring, who the hell am I, and why am I thanking them as far as their real estate needs? And that's when I get into my script, and that's how I get into that house for an appointment. Gratitude texts are big on social media and text messaging.
I love that. And that was going to my next thing. Incredible. Thank you for sharing. The next big thing I've taught everybody, I'll share the app. Text me after this, guys. And you guys all have my email. Reply. Litz will probably send the email reminders. But I'm gonna send everything in like a packet. I'm gonna put it in the chat, and whoever's not in, text me, and I'll send you everything where we need to send. I'm gonna send everybody in here the Tony Robbins workbook that I have that was always great to me. But here's my number for whoever is not an agent or knows me. Okay, there's an app. I've shown it. Rick Garcia is one of the best proponents. I think Jenna Group. It's right now it's called Groups, but it's a text group app. So it's not mass texting where you're violating any acts. So you text from your phone, individual text, but in an iPhone it comes out as a single text. Text your groups of coworkers every day. Guzman, you worked at Guzman worked like a check cashing store, like a check. Whatever the thing that verifies checks, text all your old coworkers every other week. You got to stay in people's faces. So if you're in the Instagram, now you're getting a text message. I sent 100 texts, 97 get responded to, and the other 3 get responded in a day or 2. But don't send the text out. Like that works when you don't know a person, that they're just gonna, when I send out a text, it's to people on my phone book that I know, and I say, hey, what's up? Curiosity kills a cat. I get a response from them. They'll be like, hey, what's up? What's going on? If you Now, Lou, as he sends those texts, he's doing it to prospect for sale by owners that have no idea who he is. So he has to put a little bit of his pitch in it. When I text people, it's people that I know that I just want to stay fresh in their mind. They have 5 people they're thinking about when they're buying a house. I want to stay number 1 and 2, fighting for that stock position. I don't want to be the last thought that it goes to number 5. So I say, hey, what's up? And 80 will respond with them first, 5 minutes, and then the rest will respond. And that's going to take you hours. I try to send less than 50 texts at a time because it takes hours to respond. So you need to text everybody at that point. All right. So use a text app, text people. You'll see the power. It's called Groups, and I'll share it in the chats. Everybody's going to have it. And if you don't have it, text them and I'll share it. That is I've been with Rick Garcia. I wish he was on here. And he's made this year, and Rick Garcia is a straight shooter. That's our $15 million producer. If you do the math, that $450,000 of commissions that he's made, aside from his investment properties, the fix and flips he does, he has made over $100,000 in the last year. He doesn't stop doing it. You ask, how does a person stay at that kind of of Sale Point, he does the same thing every single day. So he does his text groups, he does it consistently. The next thing is the books. I'm gonna tell you exactly the books that I want you guys to read. Everybody get ready. I'm gonna share. This is the last thing, and I'm gonna get my final points because it's 12:52. But here's the books that I want you guys to read. And I'm gonna talk to you. All right, Leslie, are you there? She probably, that's it.
Yes, I'm here.
How good was the 7 levels of effective communication?
That's one of my absolute favorites. I went through that one about 2 or 3 times.
Incredible book, guys. Get that. It's gonna help you how to do
That,
it.
I think that should be the first one everybody, reads. I don't know, but I'm big about the networking and stuff. So
a lot of people love him, don't hate him. I love Grant Cardone's first 3 books. I don't like him as an individual now anymore, but his books are fire. So Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone woke me up. The One Thing, like, is a great book that you guys want to read on the real estate sales side of things. This is very monotone and boring. Remember, the Grant Cardone one is very boring at the beginning. He self-promotes a lot the first hour, then it turns into gold. So I like to give you those disclaimers. And I read it at 1.5 speed, guys. By the way, you cut the books faster. The Power of Discipline by Brian Tracy is a classic. Everything that's in here, kind of like The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, get the actual book of The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, because the audio is the most boring thing ever. It took me like 3 months to finish that thing. The Power, and that's because I skipped to another book, and you want to knock out every book. The Power of Self-Discipline, one of the most underrated, underlooked books because it's so old. You practice what this says and money. The 15 Secrets of Time Management, the successful people know about. One of the best time management books. Leslie, get this. This is one of the greatest time management books, which is the most important thing. All right, that was that. And now, book recommendation for everybody in here. I always like to start with the Rich Dad Poor Dad. If you haven't read that, it is a must. It's the groundwork. Then the Miracle Morning, because if you're not getting up early, more than likely you're not going to listen to these books and you're not going to do everything that I'm recommending to you guys. So if you can't get up early, fine. I put another Grant Cardone book there that I think you should read after the Sell or Be Sold, which is more current, Be Obsessed or Be Average. Probably one of the best books of these. Miracle Morning, Compound Effect, I think is the top 2 books I would say that help the growth. Compound Effect, how to reduce the time it takes you to do things, how to do things that like you create your time. And then Ego is the Enemy. Jen, how good was Ego is the Enemy?
It was amazing. Yeah. I'm actually going to listen to it again.
Yeah, that one I've listened to 3 times. It's that good. So do that, guys. Whoever emailed me, I don't want to just, okay, this is my email. And I'm going to get 1 billion. No, you know what? I'm going to get 1 billion emails, but this is okay. Whoever emails me, this is all about whoever emails. Oh no, I put that in a direct message. Hold on. Whoever emails me, and again, this is not like me trying to put a funnel. And I know Joel probably is a funnel person where he wants to get your email, sign up here. I just want to see who's really disciplined enough. If you can't send me an email to send you this, then more likely it's not gonna benefit you or not or whatnot. So email me, and I know that's gonna be a ton of emails. Ryan, you got to do this. It's a 30-day program. It's by Tony Robbins. It's called Personal Power 2. This thing is so old that it tells you flip the tape to the other side. This is one of Anthony Robbins' first audio books. First tape learning. This is really what started to change my life. I need to do it again. It's like a grand piano. You got to find. You might buy a $100,000 piano, but you still got to maintain it every 3 months, every quarter. You got to tighten it up because it loses its tune. And this is one of these books that you can listen to audiobooks and they're going to give you a lot of things. This one's going to be 30 days, 45 minutes a day with a workbook at the end that you have to fill out and everything you got to write down. I'll send it to you guys. I'm going to show you the Google Drive audio. It's the only thing of the mission of it. It's not like if you get an audiobook where you stop. You just got to remember where you started, write a note of where you stopped the book if you stopped it, and you got to do homework. In 30 days, you do this, it's a game changer. But do the audiobooks as well. You should be listening to it like crazy. Guys, this is it's 12:57. I hope this is the spark for some of you guys. This is it's just not enough time to really break down and really do all your goals. I just wanted to put a lot of things in different individuals that are around us. This is you. There's people here that have made hundreds of thousands and have not made millions, and they've been where you've been at. I've been there. All I gotta do dig deep on what you want, I'm here. You have my email, email it. Just send me in the email, send me the book. Just put that in the subject. I saw that in the note. And I also share in the WhatsApp for everybody, or if you don't have my number, send me a text and I'll show you the text messaging app that I use and the rules for it. Guys, thank you so much. It was an honor to have all of you hitting 100 and I think a couple people are gonna be mad. 2021, don't talk about it. Look back in 90 days to see how far you've gone, and let's rock and roll. I love you guys. Kick some butt, and let's do it.
Thank you, George.
All right, guys.
Sure.